I'm RJ Aguiar, and this is Rebel Report, the show that thinks that pendejo Sean Penn needs to lay off the meth.
Who gave this son of a bitch his green card? Birdman.
It's okay, I can say that, we're friends. While Sean Penn's joke may have been in extremely poor taste, along with John Travolta's refusal to acknowledge personal space, you've got to hand it to Alejandro González Iñárritu, not just for winning the Oscar, but for calling Sean Penn's bluff in the classiest way possible.
I pray that we can find and build the government that we deserve, and the ones that live in this country who are part of the latest generation of immigrants in this country. I just pray that they can be treated with the same dignity and respect of the ones who came before and built this incredible immigrant nation. Thank you very much.
You would think that Iñárritu would not have to remind people that the United States is a nation of immigrants. After all, that should be something that's taught in school. But therein lies the problem, because as any academic will tell you, history often depends almost entirely on who does the writing. Enter the state of Oklahoma and Republican State Representative Dan Fisher. He and his peers in the state legislature are on a crusade to defund schools that teach AP US history. Now don't get me wrong, I hated my AP classes as much as the next overachieving high schooler, but probably for a very different reason. See, Fisher and co. have a beef with APUSH because they say that it's not patriotic enough and that it focuses too much on the negative aspects of American history. Instead, they want students to learn 51 foundational documents, which include the 10 Commandments, 3 speeches by Ronald Reagan, and a sermon by a preacher. I'm not sure if these guys should be teaching history if they think that Ronald Reagan is one of the founding fathers. Also, not surprisingly, 42 of the 51 foundational documents were written by white men. That's 82% of the history for 32% of the population. 5 were written by black men, 3 were written by women, 1 was written by a Native American, and a whopping 0 were written by Latinos. No wonder these kids are so pissed off. For the record, those are students who are protesting the dismantling of one of the only Mexican-American studies programs in the country. Now let's get one thing straight right now. America is a nation built on the extermination of one people and the enslavement of another. That's just fact. And when you refuse to acknowledge that fact, you might as well piss on the shallow grave of every innocent person of color that had to die to make this country what it is. Furthermore, when you erase the not so nice parts of history, then you're not teaching history anymore. You're teaching folklore. It would be way more fun to say that America was founded by 2 hobbits that rode on the back of an eagle after defeating the Dark Lord Sauron. But that's not what happened. What happened was Native Americans were hanging out on this continent for a few thousand years before a bunch of white people landed and decided that it's our country now because of reasons. And sure, those white people have done a bunch of really awesome stuff. They wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, but they also owned slaves and subjugated women and dispersed native populations and criminalized gay people and put Japanese people in concentration camps during World War II. Hell, I took APUSH, and even I didn't learn what Cesar Chavez did until I watched a movie starring Michael Pena. And Harvey Milk? I knew almost nothing about him until I watched a movie starring everybody's favorite meth head. Again, I am a friend, I can say that. While the events of history have already happened, there are 1,000 different ways to interpret those events. Furthermore, the whole reason why we study history is so that we can learn from the mistakes of the past. Slavery isn't just an ex-boyfriend whose number you can delete while you move on with your life. But now that we see how much people want to bleach history, I guess it only makes sense that there are a bunch of privileged white dudes out there who think that racism, sexism, etc. don't exist anymore. So while we struggle to keep alive the memories of innocent people of color who have been killed by an unjust system, let's make sure that we do that for the millions that have died before them. And let's make sure that we're not depending on Hollywood to make up for what our history books leave out. Although
we live in the most incarcerated country in the world. There are more black men under correctional control today than were under slavery in 1850. When people are marching with our song, we want to tell you we are with you, we see you, we love you, and march on.
Someone get that man a doctorate degree right away. That does it for us this week. Don't forget to thumb this video up, subscribe to Flama, and share this video so that you'll seem hip and educated. We will see you guys next week. I am RJ Aguiar, and I approve this message.